Hey there, it's Gary Parrish. I hope you're enjoying this holiday season. I am, and that's why we're not in this week doing live shows. We're going to be back on Monday. Can't wait for that. In the meantime, Bennett Doyle has put together some clips of fun and or interesting conversations we've had in recent months that are mostly timeless, we think. Today, we got a conversation I had with Mayor-elect Paul Young days after he was elected. Then it'll be a wild conversation about a woman whose boyfriend can't stop getting naked whenever she has friends over. Odd. Then it'll be our Media Day chat with former Tiger and current Grizzly, Derrick Rose. Again, I hope you enjoy them, and we will be back in studio with live shows on Monday. Welcome back to Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio, and right now I'm joined inside the studio by the next mayor of Memphis, 44-year-old Paul Young.
Yes.
You're going to be the youngest mayor in Memphis history. You were elected last week. What's it been like walking around your hometown?
Man, it's been a whirlwind,
I
man.
bet.
I mean, you kind of forget that people know who you are.
Right.
So you walking down the street and somebody, oh, you, yeah.
Well, so a year ago, you could have sat front row or any row at a Grizzlies game, and not many people would have blinked.
Like, who is dude? yeah.
On Saturday, you were there for the open practice, and I had multiple people come over and like, hey, do you see the next mayor's here? Like, it was a big, you were the star on the front row.
Man,
that must be a surreal experience.
It was definitely surreal, and, we were so excited to get an opportunity to meet the coach and Jaren Jackson and Bain, and then I saw Bain's quote, like, he was excited to meet me. I was like, what? Wow, really? So it's cool, man. It's been a good experience. I mean, it's a city that I love, and I'm glad to have an opportunity to lead.
For people who perhaps aren't familiar with your story, you're a lifelong Memphian. You graduated from East High School. You went to the University of Tennessee. You got a bachelor's from there. You've got, I believe, a couple of masters from the University of Memphis.
Right.
And most of your adult life has been connected to you actually trying to make this place a better place. When did you know you wanted to do this with your life? And when did you know being the mayor of your hometown was actually a realistic thing to pursue?
Yeah, for me, I think it was when I was director of housing. So just my trajectory, I've worked for 20 years in community development, from intern on up to being director of housing. And throughout my career, my dream job was being the director of housing and having an opportunity to improve housing opportunities for people in our city. And then as I was director of housing, I was getting to see how the sausage was made. I was seeing how, decisions were being made all across the city. And I thought that that's something that I would love to do, because there's so much more that our people need in our city. And that was probably 2017. So it was kind of in the back of my mind. And I thought I wouldn't do it at this point. But God saw fit for us to just jump out and say, the time is now.
You just turned 44 years old. Your birthday was Saturday. I apologize. I saw you Saturday.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was your birthday, or else I would have said happy
yeah.
birthday. Happy late birthday. Does it mean something to you to be the youngest mayor in Memphis history?
Yeah. Actually, I'm not the youngest.
You will not be the youngest.
I'm not the youngest. So Dick Hackett was 33.
33.
He was 33. So he was the youngest. So I'm second youngest.
Okay.
But it does mean something to me to be a younger mayor, because I feel like that's what Memphis needs right now. We need somebody who's connected to multiple generations. And I think, the challenge in our city, when you talk about crime and the culture and all the things that are going wrong in our city, is connected to younger people. Right. And if you're going to connect to younger people, you need somebody who's closer to their age. And so I feel I listen to the same music, sometimes we're in the same places. Right. And so I feel like that makes a difference for where we want to go.
I admire that you wanted this job.
Yeah.
That said, it is a difficult job.
It's a tough one.
My job's pretty simple. I got to wake up every day. I got to plan a show. I got to execute a show. I tell stories. I talk about sports.
Right.
Your job is much more daunting. I was talking to Bennett about it last week. The idea, like, if I get a job, I want to try to knock it out of the park.
Right.
I don't even know these are big issues that you are facing.
Yeah.
How challenging is it to wrap your mind around all the things you want to maybe not solve, but certainly improve, with crime being, of course, at the forefront of that?
Crime is definitely what I tell people is that my goal is to get indications of progress.
Right.
indications of success. I mean, we've been dealing with poverty for the last 70, 80 years. So I don't think we're going to solve poverty in 8.
That's right.
But if we can get indications of progress, we've been dealing with rampant crime for the last 30, 40 years. People feel it more acutely now because it's not confined to one geography. It's everywhere now.
Right.
So everybody's feeling it. But we've had this problem for decades. And so I want to see indications of crime going down. And so for me, it doesn't feel as daunting. Now, I'm saying that having not been in the role yet, but I know what we're up against. And I think we need people that are committed beyond the politics. I don't want to be a politician. It just so happened that it required a political process to go do this work. I've been training for it my whole career. And so I feel prepared and poised and ready to go get to work.
This was the first time you ever ran for anything,
Yeah.
any office. What was that experience like of constantly meeting new people and trying to sell folks on your vision, which you obviously successfully did?
It was fun, man. I had a really good time. And I think because I came at it as a novice politician, I did it in a unorthodox way. I really said in my mind that if I can just get more people to hear my vision, we will win. And so we started off by doing, meet and greets where we had, Gary would have 20 of his friends at his house. I come over to your house and I give a pitch. When I started, they were terrible. But, it got better and better, sharper and sharper. People would ask me questions and what about this? What about that? And so by the time we got to debates, man, it was nothing. Right. Every question they asked,
you had answered it 50 times.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, we use people power. And 20 people that attended yours, each one would say, well, let me host. Mm-hmm. And so we just connected to so many people that I think, it really took us over the top.
Mayor Strickland said yesterday that going forward, he has invited you to be a part of negotiations with the Grizzlies organization, with the University of Memphis. It's been a much talked about thing for months now. Yesterday, the city council formally accepted $350 million.
Right.
And there is a scenario where you might play a large role in determining how that money is spent. What's it like to possibly be in charge of $350 million?
Well, I mean, I don't think about the money. I think about the goal.
Right.
And I know that $350 million isn't enough.
Right.
We got to figure out how to figure out the rest of this capital stack. And so I'm glad Strickland is welcoming me into those discussions. It's not foreign because when we were doing the Liberty Park Youth Sports Facility, I was front and center with the mayor helping to determine that. And we're going to work with the Grizz, University of Memphis, and the stakeholders to figure out how we get both projects executed.
Is asking the state for more money a realistic option?
I think it has to be on the table.
Right.
I mean, everything has to be on the table. We have to think about can we ask for more? Are there different ways the funds could come? Are there bonds that could be issued? There are a lot of different approaches that you can use to try and figure out this capital stack. But I'm committed to making sure we do both.
It's a big responsibility that might fall on your plate, and it's a very public one too.
Yeah.
These are decisions where unless I'm misguided here, I don't think it's going to be easy for you to make everybody happy.
No, I don't think everybody will ever be happy. I mean,
Right.
there are people that are not happy that we have $350 million to go towards stadiums, period.
Right.
And so, I am a supporter of that because I do believe that quality of life is important. If we're going to continue to recruit jobs to this community, companies that are going to grow our economy, then we need these quality of life assets like the Grizzlies, like the University of Memphis, and places for people to just go have fun.
I don't think it would be appropriate for me to try to pin you down.
Yeah.
I work for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, of course.
But I am just curious. There is one argument that says, hey, the University of Memphis needs this money quickly so that we can start renovations on Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium just as soon as the Liberty Bowl is done. There's another way of thought that says you should prioritize the most important thing. And the most important thing, most people agree, would be the NBA franchise that could theoretically leave someday if it wanted to.
Right.
Do you subscribe to either one of those? Is it more complicated than that?
I mean, I think both things are true.
Okay.
I mean, and that's the problem in this, isn't it? Both things are true. we must keep the Memphis Grizzlies. And in order for our college to reach our maximum potential, we need to be in a bigger conference. And so, I don't know all of the facts right now. I don't know all of the budget numbers. I know we have $350 million. That's about what I know at this point.
Right.
But I also know that we have to find more money. And we have to find creative ways to get those dollars, whether they're additional seat taxes, hotel, motel taxes. There are a lot of other ways that we can chip away at this thing. And I think that both points that you made are factual, and I think we need them.
Another big issue that's been discussed a lot in recent weeks and months is the future of Memphis in May. The music festival, the barbecue festival. I've got friends in the chat who are very interested in getting your thoughts on what does that look like to you. In a perfect world, what does Memphis in May look like going forward? Yeah,
well, first let me say I'm a barbecue fest participant on Shine and Swine. We do our thing out there on the barbecue team front. What I would say is we want Memphis in May downtown. Okay. We know that it is and I'm the Downtown Memphis Commission president, so we know how much it means to our downtown to have all of those people in our living room, which is what we call downtown. I think we have to be creative around how we get to that point. I mean, I think we could do things as simple as use all of Riverside Drive for setting up tents. And you won't tear up the park at all, but you still have the park as a resource right next to it. I think we can be really creative because I don't think Music Fest is a challenge.
Okay.
Music Fest, you can do it in the park and there's no issues. We saw that this year. The damage took place with Barbecue Fest because it's just so intense. And I think if we do it on concrete, it's going to be much easier. And so I haven't had any discussions with the Memphis in May team or Memphis River Parks partnership about it, but I expect to be deeply engaged and us find a solution.
Just a few more things with you. I mentioned earlier you graduated from East High.
Yeah.
1997. If I remember right, that was a fun time to be around East High. That was Tony Harris, right?
Tony Harris, yeah. We went to college together. Yeah.
I connected those dots.
I just saw him the other day. Yeah, we took a picture. Tony's my guy. We won the championship in '96, and we had some good basketball. '97 was one of the best years of high school basketball.
That's like Tony Harris,
Snap,
Jimmy Snap, Marcus Moody, Robert O'Kelly,
John Grice at Central, another one of my guys. Jamie Lay?
I know.
Jamie Ross.
Yes, Jamie Ross.
Yeah. And what's my guy from Craigmont? Raleigh, Egypt. He played for Illinois.
Was that
Corey Bradford?
Oh, Corey Bradford. Right.
So there was a lot of ballers in Memphis. So
now that was a fun. What's your sports fandom like? Since this is a sports show, what do you care deeply about?
Basketball.
Right.
Basketball. That's really it. I mean, I'm a Tennessee football fan.
Okay.
Because obviously I was there during the championship for that '98. But I'm a basketball guy. So I love Memphis Grizzlies. We have season tickets. I'm watching all of those games. Love University of Memphis Tigers basketball and football too, especially in the recent years. So, that's pretty much all I watch is some football, a lot of basketball.
Wrapping up here with Paul Young. He is the Memphis mayor-elect elected last week. You will be the 65th mayor of Memphis, the second youngest at the age of 44. I asked you earlier because I saw your beautiful family with you on Saturday. Do your kids understand what's happening? Their father has gone from being their father to the city's mayor, and that's obviously a pretty dramatic change for them and you and everybody else.
I don't think they realize it yet. I mean, they realize the campaign season and what we went through during that because Daddy was always going to do something. But now that we've won, I don't think they know what that means in terms of the level of recognition. But my son definitely loved getting to meet Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bain the other day. So he's soaking it all in.
Well, listen, it's a beautiful family you have. It's an amazing thing that you've accomplished, and I'm happy for you, proud of you. The city needs more people like you who care deeply about it and actually spend their lives trying to make it better. You've been elected to do that, and a lot of people are really excited about you and can't wait to see what you do over the subsequent years.
We can't wait to get to work.
Hey, thank you for being here. Congratulations on everything, and I'll keep in touch with me, all right?
All right.
That's Paul Young, East High graduate, Tennessee graduate, and your next mayor of the city of Memphis. He'll be the 65th mayor of Memphis at the age of 44. We got a new edition of Dear Jane. I love Dear Jane.
I love Dear Jane, too.
For people who don't know, Dear Jane is this woman named Jane, and people just write her letters. I guess emails probably now.
Yeah.
They just write her letters. They just say, hey, Dear Jane, I got a problem. Can you help me with this problem? And then she offers advice. And I'm always fascinated by these problems. Like, I think I got problems sometimes, and you probably do too, right?
Yep.
I ain't got this problem.
No.
This is a doozy here.
Yeah, this one's
something else.
This one's wild.
I'm just going to read it to you, okay?
Let's hear it, okay?
I'm just going to read it to you, and then we'll talk through it. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We always figure it out, don't we?
Yeah, we always solve these.
We just got to put a little
better
thought.
than Jane is at this, to be quite honest.
Like, I don't know why people don't start writing us.
I know.
In fact, I wish they would.
I do too.
Dear Jane, here's what the woman writes. It's a woman. She says, I moved in with my boyfriend a few months ago. It's the first time that either of us have lived with a partner, and it has been wonderful. We were in complete agreement about decor, chore sharing, and splitting costs, which I know are often the topics that can cause issues with couples who move in together. But 3 weeks ago, I was hosting a few of my friends for a girls' night, and my boyfriend just strolled through the living room totally naked. She says, I was absolutely stunned. Everyone was. One of my friends even screamed. I figured he'd forgotten we were there, and I jumped up to shield him from the view. I bundled him out of the room, but then he just stared at me like I was the one who'd gone insane. He asked me why I was acting so strangely when he was just being comfortable in his own home. And since then, it's happened 3 more times. Buddy has walked into the living room 3 more times while the girl has her girlfriends over. She continues, in fact, anytime I have friends over, it's like a trigger for him to strip naked and go on a stroll around the house. I've tried telling him so many times how uncomfortable it makes me, how awkward it is for my friends, and I've asked so many times if he can please just cover up when we have company over. Every time, he looks so hurt. He asked me why I'm trying to make something perfectly natural feel so gross and creepy. He accused me of trying to make him feel like a pervert when all he's trying to do is relax in his home. I don't want to make him feel like a creep at all, but I'm now terrified to invite any of my friends over because they all find it so uncomfortable and awkward. I can't work out if he's telling me the truth or if these naked displays are some weird way of him claiming his territory. Please help me find some common ground here. So let me make sure you understand what we got here.
Mm-hmm.
Boyfriend, girlfriend moving together.
Yeah.
Everything's going great.
Yeah.
All right. She 3 weeks ago has her friends over, and he comes walking through the living room butt naked. Everybody's like, "What in the world?" Ah. You know, she covers him up like, "Did you forget?" And he's like, "No, I didn't forget. I'm like, this is my home. I'm just strolling around." And she's like, "Yeah, but I got friends in there. Like those are my friends." And your ding-a-ling was just like hanging out, you know?
Yep.
And he was like, "Yeah, this is my house. Why are you trying to make it weird?" And she's like, "All right, let me just get back to my friends, whatever." And according to this letter, that was 3 weeks ago. And he's done it 3 times since then. That's 4 times in a 3-week span. Does the man have a point? It's his house? Or is this gross and creepy?
Of course it's gross and creepy. What are we talking about? And it's not him trying to be comfortable in his own home. This is like some weird, like voyeuristic, like he's digging this.
He's an exhibitionist.
Yeah, man. He wants her friends to see him naked. Like, of course he does. What are we talking about? I've really questioned this woman. Like, what is wrong with you? Why are you even asking break up with him? Or just be like, dude, I'm breaking up with you if you walk around the house naked when I have company over one more time.
Okay, but is this something you can work through, or is this a deal breaker?
I don't think it's something you can work through because...
Well, because even if he says, okay, I'll stop,
yeah,
you know that he wants to do that. Is that a deal breaker for you?
So like...
That he wants your friends to see him naked.
Well, let me...
Over and over and over again.
I mean, let me just flip it around.
Okay.
Like if it was me and my wife was doing the exact same thing, I would be incredibly upset.
Think about if me, you, Devin, and Rosa were sitting at your house.
And my wife comes walking out naked. I would be like, what the hell are you doing?
And then she did it 3 more times in the next 3 weeks.
I would be like, we might have to get a divorce if you like doing this. Like, what are we talking about?
What if she said, I do like doing it, but I'll stop? Is that okay? Is that good enough? I like doing it, but I'll stop. I like Gary seeing me naked. but I'll stop for you.
It's my wife you're talking about.
She's the one that got naked, Bennett, not me.
Right. Dude, I think that, I mean, yes, I would try to work through it, but man, that would be in the back of my head for the rest of my life.
Because how about this? In any relationship, marriage, you're just living together, anything in between, there are going to be things, sometimes lots of things, that you cannot agree on.
Of course.
My wife and I have real things that we cannot agree on in the home.
We're probably never going to agree on.
Oh, buddy, if you figured that out already, good for you.
Yeah.
Because you ready for this? It will not change.
Right.
None of this stuff will change.
Right.
You
just have to.
Yeah, like there are things that matter to her that do not matter to me, and there are things that matter to me that do not matter to her, and we have, as long as I'm being honest, never been able to get on the same page about it.
Sure.
Never.
I think that's most couples that have been together a long time.
Like there are things that she would like. Why are these clothes sitting out? Or why are this stack? Like just little things. And they never get better. They never change. Now, I do things that drive her crazy. And you ready? They never change either. All right? And so you just have to decide, like, can we work through this? Can you just decide, hey, this drives me crazy, but I'm not going to get caught up on it today. Right? And sometimes that is the compromise that people make.
Yeah.
You actually do get into a conversation where you go, okay, I don't think it's a big deal to, I'm just trying to think of anything. I don't think it's a big deal to just let the boys take showers in the morning. Like, and let me be clear, this isn't even a thing we talk about. All right, I'm just making up something. Let's say that I think we need to make the boys take showers and baths at night so that when we get up in the morning, we're ready to go and we don't have that 20 minutes to deal with, right? I don't believe that, but just you'll get this. And she fundamentally thinks, no, they need to get up and get in the shower and, wake up, and that's the way to do it. And we have a real issue with that, right? We don't, but if we did.
Right.
Then I might say, you know what? I don't agree with you, but it's fine. They'll just take showers in the morning. I don't agree, but it's fine. Okay. So that's one word, and I'm sure she would say, well, that's great. I respect that you don't agree, but I'm glad that we're now on the same page. And you could work through that one. Now let's go back to this one. You say, listen, you got to stop walking through the house naked when my friends are here. What is going on? And what if she actually says to you, I don't think it's a big deal if I walk through the house naked when your friends are here. And in fact, if I'm being honest, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. And I don't think it's a big deal. And I kind of like it. But I see that you think it's awkward and it makes you uncomfortable. And so even though I want to do that, I want your friends to see me naked, I will stop doing that out of respect for you. Is that good enough? Is that something you can compromise on? Or is it always in the back of your head, my wife really wants to take her clothes off right now and come in here so my friends can see her?
That one's tough.
It's tough.
That one's really tough.
It's a tough deal.
It'd be tough. That'd be tough. I think we'd have to have some more talks, maybe go to therapy. We're going to have to get through.
We got to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, because
this is a kink thing that maybe you're not comfortable with, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing with this situation, with this dude. It is not I just want to feel comfortable in my house. It's just not.
Oh, no. Let's be clear about one thing. The reason he thinks she's making him feel gross and creepy
is because he's being gross and creepy. Yeah.
100%. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's outrageous behavior.
Yes.
Like that. And it's like outrage. Like, keep in mind, these women, I'm assuming none of them are traumatized, but I don't know. But they don't expect that. One of them screamed.
Yeah.
But these women, they just think they're going. They didn't ask for this. They don't want that.
No, you can't show them that.
You can't do that.
Even if they're company in your own home, you can't do that.
I
think there's some legal stuff going on there. You can't do that.
He might need to go to prison. This fella.
I don't think you can do that.
He's out of line.
In your house.
He's out of line.
Yeah.
It's one thing if everybody's into it. It's like, hey guys, we're going on a couple's vacation and everybody's gonna get nude and do your thing. Ain't none of my business.
Yeah, that exists. You can do that.
Do that if you want to. Ain't none of my business. Yeah. But this is over the line. This is over the line. This wasn't even a hard one to figure out, was it?
This one was really easy to figure out. Actually.
So if you're the girl, let's put a bow on this. If you're this woman, once you get all these I'm trying to figure out if he's really just trying to be comfortable in his own home or if this is some sort of kink exhibitionist thing hey, we got this figured out for you. He ain't trying to be comfortable in his own home. He gets off on being naked in front of your friends. That's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right? That's a thing that he's dealing with.
Yep.
All right? If you're this woman, and once you get to the point where you have to acknowledge, be honest with yourself, this is really who he is. I didn't know this is who he was, but he is somebody who likes to get naked in front of people inappropriately. And if he's doing it here in our home, he might be doing it outside of our home. Is this going to be something I'm forever going to have to deal with? Is this a deal breaker on a relationship? Do you just say, I can't be in a serious relationship with somebody who is constantly either going to be bringing this into our life or at the very least wanting to?
I think it's a deal breaker.
Might be.
I think it's a deal breaker. Yeah.
Might be.
Yeah.
But what if
Jane ain't helping you here?
But everything else is so good. Everything else is good. He just can't stop getting naked in front of her friends.
Then everything's not so good.
Then maybe everything's not so good. You know?
Yeah.
I think I'm not going to tell this woman what she should do in terms of moving forward. Perhaps you can work around this the way you work around anything else in a relationship, right? But it's an issue.
Yeah. It's a problem.
It's a problem. Everybody is very familiar with,
What's up, Derrick?
including here in Memphis.
Look at that veteran leadership.
What's up, baby? You good?
Coming down,
It's Derrick Rose.
We had a fumbled handshake, and he made me redo it. That's the veteran leadership
that's
right there.
veteran leadership.
That's
He is, of course, the former
I got you.
University of Memphis star. He is the youngest MVP in NBA history. And now he's back in a jersey with Memphis across the front. Did you ever think you'd be back in a jersey with Memphis across the front?
No, I never thought that, bro. But I'm very fortunate and blessed to be in this situation. You know, how everything goes full circle. But, I mean, I'll continue to tell y'all that the more we talk. So.
I know that, listen, the things you did here were amazing. Your individual NCAA tournament run is one of the greatest of all times, statistically. And then it gets a little crossways. There's the vacated, the banner comes down.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than that. It's a lot more than that.
Yeah, there's a lot there. And I know it's been, I guess this is what I'm trying to ask you. Do you recognize how loved you are here? People love you here. You're an icon here. I know it got a little twisted up, but
Yes,
I wonder
sir.
if you feel that.
I feel it, but it's been a while since I felt that, you know, after leaving here, kind of like getting tossed or getting thrust in the world or the profession that I'm in right now. You know, it's kind of hard paying attention to everything when you're moving so fast and your career is taking off so fast. But like I said, I'm very blessed to be in this situation, understand that everything goes full circle. Like it comes around full circle. I played here in 6th grade. I played against the Memphis Magic and Nationals in 6th grade. We lost in the championship game. I came here when USA Basketball, 16, 17, played with that team, and I ended up going to college here. Come to find out, my wife's family is from here. So it's crazy how everything goes full circle, and it just feels like divine timing.
You obviously are back here now. I saw the kids are at Lausanne, is that right?
Yeah,
How is that? My oldest graduated from Lausanne. How's that been?
He's loving it, man. I thought he was going to have a hard time getting acclimated to the South or coming from New York and coming down here. You know, New York is kind of it's a lot going on in New York. He was on the winning team, Gaucho's team. But when he saw the campus here at Lausanne, he was blown away right from the jump. So he's having a blast. My kids love, my other 2 kids love. We love picking them up from school. And, we couldn't ask for nothing more.
I think once you got to the NBA, the first time when you go from the Bulls to the Knicks,
Yes.
I was at Slam Magazine then, and I remember we did a story about it. But I remember, there was a lot of expectations, and you were going to come in and be like one of the key players there and all that. And
Yes, sir.
At this point in your career, though, you come in here and you don't have to be the guy scoring 30 a
That's
night
the beauty
or
of
doing
it.
all
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Like, what is that like for you now? Like, now you're kind of like, all right, now I have a role to play here.
I could breathe. Early on, most of the players, they're perfectionists.
Yeah.
So you want every performance, every game to be a certain way. And the night before, I couldn't sleep like that.
Right.
And I know a lot of other players are going through that too now because how big the game is grown, it's global. So I can only imagine like the anxiety players go through now. But back then, when we didn't have social media like that, people were still going through it. I remember having a lot of restless nights, wanting to perform like perfectly every game. And now being older, it's totally different now, where when I go in, first off, I have to prep for a game the night before games.
Yeah.
Like a whole day before games, I have to prep for a game, get my body right. Being 16 years in, I have a routine. And that's what the league or just playing over 16 years has taught me, like with the teammates that I was able to see. Like a Nazir Muhammad, like a Kurt Thomas, guys that these younger guys won't know like that rarely played, but every day you would think they were coming in, they were taking care of their business like they were playing that day. It was unreal to see how professional they were.
Your story is obviously well documented. You're a college star, you're the #1 pick, you're the youngest MVP in history, and then you have the devastating knee injury, and
Yes, sir.
things got difficult.
Yes.
Obviously, you're still here.
Yes.
You're still playing and have played at a high level post-injuries, but obviously that took away from your career.
Yes.
When you look back on that, most of us do not have gifts like the gift you had that is taken away.
I hear you.
When you look back at that, do you look back at it with, is it disappointment? Do you get upset?
Sorry.
Do you feel like it's unfair? Or do you just like, this is life and you roll with it?
I used to be that way. I used to think I wanted revenge. Like, what's the Frank Sinatra quote? The greatest success is massive. The greatest revenge is massive success.
Yeah.
And that's how I had to change my train of thought into that, where I couldn't be thinking about like scoring 30 or just getting my average anymore. I had to focus on, who are you? Who am I? If I didn't get hurt, I still would have been lost as a player, thinking that the basketball defined who I am. And in reality, it doesn't. It's just a hobby that I do, and something that it's a hustle. It's a hustle if you really think about it. We found a way to put a spear object and another spear object 10 feet high, and we found a way to do it, and people pay to see it. Right. That's a hustle. So my hustle don't define who I am. And with me getting injured, that opened up doors to me to figure out who I really was as a person.
What does define who you are?
What you see right
That's
now.
a big question,
Me talking.
Yeah.
What you see right now, what you hearing right now. Back in the day, or when I first got here, I wasn't able to articulate myself like this.
Yeah.
So when me expressing myself like this, someone that's been an introvert, I pat myself on the back because I got to. That's the only thing I can get myself or brag about, be pompous about, because I had to work to get to where I'm at, get to this spot right now. So that's what.
Okay, D-Rose, I know we're reminiscing a little bit.
Yeah.
I believe we have a video.
One last
from
thing before we
way
go.
back when that we got to show you.
Okay, let's see if we have this
Is it
here.
an interview,
This
bro?
is 16 years ago.
Wow.
And this is me and you
Check it.
at Central Barbecue.
Yes, bro.
Now look, what's hilarious about this is now I have no hair and you have plenty of hair. Do you have any recollection of this lunch we had at Central Barbecue?
I do. I remember the shirt. I
got the
got that
Mars Blackburn
shirt
shirt?
that day.
Yeah, I
I
see
got
it.
the shirt that day, bro, with the shoes. I said, I got to put
You had
this
to
on.
match? Yeah.
I got to put this on so I could go out here and look fresh. And I was a huge MJ fan growing up in Chicago, and of course everything about growing up with his kids too. I had the blessings to be around his kids at a young age. So coming here, like, what's crazy, I didn't even know Memphis was a Adidas school.
Oh, wow.
You feel me? It wasn't about shoe contract. Nah, I'm going there because I see that they're missing a spot.
Right.
And that only spot that they're missing is a point guard.
Right.
and I could see myself fitting in. And that was the only reason why I came.
Did you think the Pyramid was going to become a Bass Pro Shop one day? Or?
No, I never was that. It blew my mind. Now, her Bass? What you mean Bass Shop? One of my old team last year, Mitchell Robinson, he went there and like got some stuff from the shop. I'm like, bro, what you doing in there, bro? They actually let you buy stuff from there?
Oh man, take the kids sometime. Take the kids sometime. Well, listen. Sincerely, it is awesome to be here with you.
Thank you.
It's awesome to have you back in this building where you made 18,000 people go crazy every time you played. It's people are really excited about this. Thank you for being here.
No, love.
All right. That's D. Rose, the youngest MVP in NBA history, and now a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. Derrick Rose, awesome to be here on Grizzlies Media Day.